Good evening, viewers. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is Times Now Live and I'm Hina Gambhir. Viewers, it's day 5 of flight delays, disruptions and despair. And the turbulence hasn't eased. From stranded passengers to soaring airfares, the Indigo mess has sparked nationwide outrage. Prime Minister's office has taken stock and the Aviation Ministry is assuring action, promising fair fares and no exploitation. Indigo is issuing apologies, but passengers say apologies are no longer enough. Is this a systems failure or a result of corporate complacency? Why did India's largest airline, with 65% market share, fail to prepare for the new FDTL rules that kicked in from 1st of November? And now the chorus for accountability is only growing louder. Will Indigo finally face legal heat? Will law take off where apologies have landed? Those are some of the questions that we will be asking on this show this evening, and we are in fact going to be joined by two very special guests as well to tell you legally what should really happen, because passengers, so many of them, thousands of passengers across India have been inconvenienced because of this Indigo crisis. Who was behind this crisis? All that and lot more coming up for you over the next 30 minutes. And also, viewers, this is a show for you. The numbers are flashing at the bottom of your screens. If you are one of the passengers impacted by this Indigo crisis, please call us and share with us your concerns. We'll, of course, ensure that action is taken. And before we get ahead in the show, listen in to what the Civil Aviation Minister had to say.
On the airlines part, we have observed this miscalculation from the Indigo part, and we have ordered a strict inquiry into it. The inquiry is going to start, and as we find the details of the inquiry, we are going to take strict action.
So you heard what the Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu had to say. Miscalculation on part of the airline. So the question really is, what was the government doing when this miscalculation happened? What was the DGCA doing? Why action was not taken for a month? Remember, the FDTL guidelines kicked in from 1st of November. This crisis began on 2nd of December. Today is 6th of December. Now these kind of statements are coming. And by the way, we have also learned that the Ministry of Civil Aviation, in fact, has summoned the Indigo officials once again. This evening, there's going to be another high-level meeting at the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and we can expect some big announcements from the ministry as well. Joining us on the broadcast right now are my colleagues tracking the developments very, very closely. We have Isha joining us live from the Delhi airport, which is the worst hit. We also have with us Nilesh joining us from Mumbai airport, also badly impacted by Indigo crisis. Isha, to you first. Why don't you help us understand the problems that the passengers are facing? Talk to the passengers and tell us the kind of problems they have faced, and tell us about the flights that have been cancelled.
Hina, the situation has gone from bad to worse in the last 5 days. In fact, we're currently at Terminal 1. This is where most of the Indigo flights are flown from. We'll show you around here the visuals, requesting the camera person Harinder to also show you the visuals. And this is day 5, Hina. This is after thousands of flights have been cancelled, and you can still see that Indigo passengers here have queued up. You can still see a small child here as well who is sitting here patiently, an old man here. Sir, आप Indigo से travel कर रहे थे?
नहीं, बच्चे को छोड़ने के लिए आए।
बच्चे, सर आप कर रहे थे?
बेटी को।
So we are hearing from people here that they were traveling from Indigo. This is the state inside the ticketing area. These are people who are here to reschedule, in fact, their flights as well.
Why don't you ask them, Isha, if they are getting proper information from the airline about what's happening?
But we were having the connecting flights. So
आपको कोई भी क्या इंडिगो आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड कर रही है? आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं अपनी फ्लाइट्स के बारे में?
yeah, they are updating me like the flights are getting delayed or not. They are updating, but they are not like it's not so smooth the process overall.
आप बताइए क्या आपको is the airline telling you how delayed is your flight?
Yes, they are telling me regularly, but we are brothers. We are on the same flights.
So, Hina, we did hear from the people here. They are stating that they're getting updates from Indigo. They're not regular in nature. But of course, Indigo has done some damage control. In fact, yesterday, this entire area was filled. There were multiple people here who had queued up, in fact, who were also protesting. But Indigo has stated that now they are offering
flights
refunds.
Taking off and landing at Delhi airport, the Indigo flights. Isha, if you can also tell us, because yesterday's notification said that till midnight, no departures of Indigo from Delhi airport. How is the situation right now?
Hina, till 12 a.m. last night, there was no Indigo flight that was departing from the Indira Gandhi International Airport. But today we have seen from our eyes, we have seen that Indigo flights are definitely landing. And there are some delays which are being reported at the Indigo flights. In fact, in the morning, we found out that about 50% of the flights were delayed. But yes, some flights are indeed taking off. The Indigo management is also ensuring, and they're also trying to minimize the delay as much as possible. But yes,
Isha,
there are still multiple delays.
Let me go across to Nilesh as well. Nilesh, I can see a lot of people behind you as well in long queues on the counters of other airlines as well. Tell us, how bad is the situation where you are?
Well, the situation remained unchanged in the past 4 days, and on the 5th day, the situation still can be explained by the number of individuals in queue. Passengers are reaching out at the Mumbai airport, and you can see people are still demanding to the questions that still remain unanswered as to where exactly is their flight, because they received no status of their flight. Air officials, when they speak to, are giving statements that your flight is on time, it will be soon taking off. But when passengers reach out at the airport, they have to wait here with the family members. You can see senior citizens are also in trouble since early morning hours. Small children are also seen in trouble without food and water. We'll try to speak to certain of these passengers. Sir, आप इंडिगो के यात्री हैं, कितनी तकलीफों का सामना करना पड़ा? क्या कुछ क्लियर मैसेज आपको कन्वे किया जा रहा है?
हम लोग जाने वाले थे चेन्नई 4 तारीख को. हम लोग यहाँ आए थे, उस टाइम उन्होंने बताया कि फ्लाइट टाइम पे है. बाद में बोला 2 घंटा लेट है. वैसे एक्सटेंड कर के रात को 2 बजे
7 बजे गया फ्लाइट. पर हम लोग यहाँ से 3 बजे रात को चले गए, पर हमारा बैग रह गया. अभी बैग के लिए हम बैठे हैं.
यानी 2 दिनों से आपके लिए लगातार मुसीबत रही है. पहले फ्लाइट मिस की, अब आपके लगेज मिस हुए.
मिस नहीं हुई.
उसके अलावा वहाँ से जो कैंसिलेशन करनी थी टिकट की, वो भी नहीं किया उन्होंने. आज किया वो लोग ने. हाँ, लेकिन इसके लिए हमको घड़ी आना पड़ता है यहाँ. मुसीबत बहुत हो गया.
आप दोनों ही हैं या फिर आपके साथ और भी कुछ यात्री आपके फैमिली में?
काफी लोग हैं, लेकिन अभी मिल तो नहीं रहे हैं. ये भी उसी के लिए आए हैं. ये तो साउथ अफ्रीका के हैं लोग, ये भी उसी के लिए आए हैं.
You can see the national as well as international, there is foreign passengers are also in trouble. Today the difference that we particularly saw is that passengers are troubled for their luggages, which is somewhat misplaced by the airline company. One passenger that we spoke of was at Mumbai airport, but his luggage was into southern.
Getting the luggage back is another big concern that the passengers are talking about. Nilesh and Isha, requesting both of you to please stay on with us. Let's also welcome our guests joining us on the broadcast. We have Saroj Damania, aviation lawyer. We also have with us Aditya Pratap, who is a lawyer. Good evening to both of you, gentlemen. Before I come to you, let's also listen in to some more viewers who are calling us this evening. We have Sudeep Mukherjee from Kolkata. Good evening. Go ahead, please. Okay, we've lost that line. Now we have Jaya from Mumbai as well. Good evening, Jaya. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. How can some specific rules which are relating to leave, leave and the week rest for the week, and all this being the ground for escalation of this scale, the issue should have been resolved. When other airlines complied with DGCA rules, why did Indigo not do so? Indigo has a demonic intent, only profit. It's a demon. Ignored safety of flyers and pilots. Criminal offense, and all provisions relating to criminal offense should be slapped on Indigo. It should not be as the management and the accountability should be. Nobody should be allowed to go scot-free.
Absolutely, Jaya. Important points you've made. We have Vikas Saxena joining us from Delhi as well. Can you tell us if you also had to go through the kind of problems that other passengers are facing right now because of Indigo's mess?
Fortunately, I did not have to undergo this kind of a mess, but yes, my friends did, and I can quite relate to that. I think it is a crime that Indigo have committed. They should not be spared at all. the Supreme Court should take suo motus notice. The Prime Minister's office should directly intervene. I think there is a lot of a lot of things that have to be looked at. First and foremost, look at their apathy. Second is the crime against passengers. Their luggage is missing. Third, extortion. Fourth, misleading people about the flights. I think all these are gross serious offences. I will be delighted if the airline is taken over or the license is shut. They don't deserve to be in the air. It is dacoity in the air that they have committed. And
See, in the air, this is what the viewers are saying, sir. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Times Now. And we can totally understand the anger that you have. Like you, there are thousands of other passengers, air travelers who have in fact faced problems because of this Indigo crisis. Today are saying this is dacoity in the air. Sarosh Damania, now the question really is, you heard the passengers, they're angry. I mean, you know, why should passengers suffer if an airline did not prepare properly in advance for the implementation of a rule that was supposed to kick in from 1st of November? Why should passengers suffer when others prepared? So legally, what kind of problems can Indigo face because of this?
See, legally, it is a very complicated situation. First and foremost, DGCA had long time ago told them about this implementation. It is not that this new policy came in by surprise and they were not prepared for it. But the problem in our country is the culture of the let-go attitude and getting extensions and extensions. So they thought that somehow the deadlines are, there is a deadline given, but we'll somehow manage to get an extension. So because of that attitude, they were not at all prepared. See, it is one of the largest airlines operating in India. Consumers are highly dependent on it. The domestic aviation sector is dependent on it. So they should have been better prepared. And the DGCA, which is the government authority, the aviation ministry, should have had a proper overview when they were implementing the scheme. It was their duty before implementation to check that the scheme is rolled on smoothly.
Absolutely.
So it is a both situation. It is the government's role also. Of course, the major role is the airline who was ill prepared and who did not follow it. But the government is equally responsible for the passengers. It is the Ministry of Civil Aviation
is
for the
something
people.
that is not acceptable. That is causing inconvenience to the passengers. Stay on with us. More viewers joining us on the broadcast. Prabhat is with us from Kolkata. Good evening, Prabhat. Did you also have to go through problems because of this crisis that we are seeing across airports?
नहीं उसके लिए मेरे को नहीं है, लेकिन बाकी मेरे बहुत से दोस्त अभी जिनको गोवा जाना है वो सब उसी तरफ फंसे हुए हैं। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कम से कम इन लोग जो मैनेजमेंट टीम है ना, उनको कम से कम जो 2 साल से वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किए, वो भी इसी तरह उनको भी बिना नौकरी छोड़े बिना पे के 2 साल काम करना पड़े, जिससे उनको पता चले पैसेंजर को जब तकलीफ होती है या वो इधर से उधर दौड़ता है तो कैसा लगता है।
सही बात आप बोल रहे हैं प्रभात जी। थैंक यू वेरी मच हमसे बात करने के लिए। सुदीप मुखर्जी is also there from Kolkata. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Good evening. See, I am a senior citizen. I was coming back from Bagudogra, a small station, airport in the north of West Bengal, to Kolkata. So I merrily arrived at Bagudogra airport, and much to my annoyance, I found that my flight is cancelled. So I was told to stand in a big queue to cancel my ticket, which I web check-in. So I stood in the queue for about 20-30 minutes, and then I got my this thing cancelled. Now I asked, when will I get the payment, and where is the acknowledgement that this is cancelled? So there is no reply from the ground staff. They told that you will get. So they have taken it for granted. These the senior citizens. That is one. Secondly, I had to again purchase a new ticket in the Air India Express, spending 20,000 for a 40 minutes flight. Okay. And I managed to come back to Kolkata. So my question is, my demand is, I should not only get back my Indigo refund, they should compensate me. At least 2 times they should compensate me.
Absolutely. You're making very important points, and that's exactly why we are asking viewers to call us and share with us the problems that they are facing, and so that government can also hear and take a look at what's really happening on the ground, so that Indigo also takes a look at what's really happening on the ground. Mere, apologies are not really going to be enough. I mean, these are real issues that people are facing. Mr. Mukherjee, thank you very much for calling us here on Times Now and sharing with us what you had to go through. We're really sorry for that. We have Ravi joining us from Nashik as well. Ravi, good evening. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was supposed to travel on 4th December. That was from Mumbai to Gorakhpur. And I live in Nashik, so I had to travel from Nashik to Mumbai. The flight was supposed to take at 12:50. And they keep postponing that till 6:50 when we went to the gates where we are supposed to just board the craft. So when we are at the gate, 10 minutes before, there is only one single lady who is saying us, flight cancelled. And she has not even given us any intimation about what are we supposed to do. This is the first time I'm facing a flight cancellation. She has not even given us an idea that she said, go outside, get the luggage. If you want, you can reschedule. She just left like that. I mean, I was just shocked that how can an airline like Indigo, I was believing Indigo is the best, and they are punctual. Indigo standard time, that's what I was hearing for so many years.
Yes.
And then suddenly when I was able to track the source of this problem a few days ago, but when it happened there, I was like, what the hell is going on with Indigo?
Absolutely. And like you, Ravi, there are so many passengers. Thank you very much for calling us and sharing with us what you had to go through. Gokul Das is there with us from Kerala as well. Good evening. Go ahead, please. Okay, I think we don't have him connected. We have Saurabh Kishore from New Delhi as well. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm Saurabh Kishore from Delhi. Actually, the working of airlines, it has become like a real estate sector was a few years back in Delhi NCR. These airlines are charging passengers, minting money, manipulating accounts to show them in deficit, and entirely diverting their money for their rapid expansion at the cost of passengers' safety and amenities. It must be probed very thoroughly. They do not provide proper salary as well as raise to the technical crews. Rather, they divert their funds for expansion only.
Right.
So this is very pathetic situation.
Right. Thank you very much, Saurabh Kishore. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now. Aditya, you heard some of the passengers. I mean, of course, government has summoned Indigo officials once again. A high-level inquiry is going to happen. We'll know what really comes out of it later. But immediately, what should the passengers do? Passengers who are suffering, elderly, senior citizens are suffering, traveling from different locations only to find out that their flights have been cancelled, then are being forced to purchase new tickets at higher prices.
Absolutely. To begin with, aviation sector in India is governed by the Aircraft Act of 1934. Then we have the respective rules which are framed by DGCA, which is the aviation regulator. Because aviation is a highly specialized sector which requires detailed regulation, and therefore DGCA is the all-in-all when it comes to framing regulations. Clearly, there are proper guidelines framed by DGCA for grant of passenger compensation. Those who have had their flights cancelled, they should be accommodated from the on an alternative flight, irrespective of the cost, because ultimately the duty when a flight cancellation is done, the duty of an airline is to get a person from A to B. Indigo's duty is to ensure that it complies with the DGCA guidelines in letter and spirit. Now, at the same time, the compensation structure, I can understand a lot of passengers are anguished. They have suffered losses. They have suffered
Okay.
Can even go beyond. I'll just have to add a point here.
Yes.
They have to. They can go beyond the mandate of DGCA. They can even file a case under Consumer Protection Act also for deficiency in service. However, I will add a note of caution. If passengers are expecting that they will get unlimited compensation, that is not happening. Because
nobody is asking for unlimited compensation, Saroj Damania. The point here is you just heard one of the passengers saying, senior citizen. I mean, he comes from a far off place only to find out that his ticket his flight has been cancelled. Then he is forced to purchase a ticket which is over 20,000 rupees. Why is he not liable for higher compensation? I mean, this is not the
He
reason
should be
why he
paid.
chose to
Of
fly
course,
with
of course.
Indigo,
He has
right?
to be. I absolutely agree. He has to be refunded the ticket. He should be compensated for the additional ticket he has to purchase on another airline by paying much higher cost. And he should be also compensated for the mental agony, harassment, what he has suffered waiting at the airport for hours and hours.
Absolutely.
People
Aditya,
were
what
without
about all
food,
those
water.
problems? Because
They
when
were
it comes to flying, let me tell you, Aditya, when it comes to flying, even to, be able to sit on an aisle seat, we have to pay extra in these low-cost airlines.
See, that is separate. Remember the number
How is
one
it separate?
objective of
When you are
aviation is
charging
safety.
us for every
See,
service that you are providing us, why should we as passengers not be compensated for the agony, for the misery that we are going through because of your mismanagement?
No, see, the point is passengers can claim, okay, that will spend 20, 40,000, they will get that compensation. But then if they want to claim 1 crore, 2 crores as compensation, that might not happen because ultimately courts will have to look at the larger picture. In June, we had AI 171, which was a major tragedy. The purpose of DGCA and the aviation regulatory regime is to ensure that safety comes first. Now, clearly, I understand.
But Aditya, isn't the airline and the government compromising safety again by pushing the FDTL rules? Why were they put in place? For the safety of the pilots, right? Fatigue is a real issue.
No, absolutely.
Aren't you compromising on safety just to manage your crisis that you manufactured, that you orchestrated? You allowed it to happen.
See, safety in the air comes first. There may have been chaos on the ground. What we have is chaos on the ground. On the ground, there's no safety issue. When the plane is in flight, the flight duty time limitation rules exist to ensure that pilots are not overworked. And that is why their rest hours were increased from 36 to 48 hours per week. So safety in aviation comes first. And moreover, as far as now, this is where one more aspect called regulatory practice comes in. As you know, these flight duty time limitation rules, I can agree there can be some element of liability of DGCA but remember, because ultimately being a regulator, it cannot be as blatant as the parliament. Like parliament can enact a law tomorrow.
Absolutely, everybody responsible needs to pay for the inconvenience to the passengers.
No, not at all. But remember, an act of regulator is an act of state. And under the principles of tort law, there is no claim for compensation against an act of state.
Okay.
So clearly, there is no claim for compensation against an act of state.
I will get Sarosh Damania, if time permits, to respond to the point that you're making. I have to go across to my other viewers as well. We have Rahul joining us from the national capital. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi. I was traveling from Bangalore to Delhi. This was on the 3rd of December. This was relatively very new at that point of time, the whole issue. I had a flight at 8:30 in the evening. We got a message that it will now go at 9:30, then at 11:30, then at 1:30, then at 2:30, and finally, people lost it. That you can easily tell the people that it's going to fly the next day, or it's not going to fly, or it's going to get cancelled. Instead of just making every 30 minutes, making people wait for the flight to go. In fact, I didn't want to wait. I booked a flight on a Airline for 21,000 at 5 o'clock in the morning after waiting for nearly 8 to 9 hours, and came home. And I realized later on that flight actually came at 10:30 the next day to New Delhi. Now, the whole challenge over here was we are young people still. There were senior citizens, there were kids, there were disabled people.
And there are students also. People have wedding functions. I mean, we've spoken to so many passengers. One of them said it's my daughter's engagement and she's stranded at the airport with all the stuff. It's like really bad for people there. Thank you very much, Rahul. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now. Mahesh is live with us from Bengaluru as well. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening, Ina. I just have a point here. I was flabbergasted that this regulation was issued 2 years ago. And in that intermittent period, nobody from the government side bothered finding out if airlines are on track with staffing up on pilots and all. Especially what's really concerning is just a few months ago, we've had this horrific crash in Ahmedabad where we lost many lives. So especially after a disaster like that, one would have expected that somebody would have, paid attention to this and then gone back and looked at whether airlines are on track or not. And the other concerning part is that if we are finding out this at the nth moment, I don't know what would have happened if we had found out that other airlines are not keeping up with the staffing as well.
Absolutely.
So
it would have been a nightmare. It's already pretty bad. It would have been absolutely horrible in that case. But thankfully, that didn't happen. Mahesh, appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now. Prakash, also live with us from Gurugram. Go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I am a senior citizen, retired army officer.
Yes.
I had a confirmed booking yesterday for Bangalore. And I had to attend a very important function, which was for which a huge amount of money had been spent. Suddenly, I get an information message early in the morning, just 2 hours before my flight, that all flights are cancelled. Now, this has caused immense amount of issues and problems to me, and a lot of money has been wasted. Secondly, the refunds, they are not enough. There must be penalized refunds given to us immediately.
Absolutely.
Thirdly, this airline has committed a criminal offense by not carrying out the statutory changes that have been ordered by the government, and which is risking the lives of passengers.
Right. Those are important issues you have raised, Mr. Prakash. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. We'll, of course, be tracking this very closely ahead as well. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen, for joining us with your thoughts on the story. Heading into a very, very short break right now. We'll be back with lots more. Don't go anywhere.